Guys come up to my friends when we're out, but they don't come up to me.
I've been hearing a lot of ladies say that men don't even approach them anymore.
95% of men no longer approach women.
Men are not approaching me. Am I ugly?
Women complain about how men don't approach, but what's stopping them from making a move?
Yo, I don't see the point of approaching women or bagging women. There's no point.
Some men genuinely will not approach you if they know they can't afford you.
The most attractive women never get approached.
I asked a bunch of girls, when was the last time a man approached you at a bar?
It's a matter of attitude and respect. Men aren't fond of being disrespected when approached. Kindly subscribe to the channel as it further supports us in our work. Thank you.
Men, please stop approaching women in stores, in public. If we do not know you are approaching us, please stop. It's terrifying.
I'm shook. If it is true, there's no hope for me really, because I only ever go to the gym. So somebody told me, actually a few people have told me, that 90% of men who go to the gym would never approach a woman at the gym because they think it's creepy. Why? When did this happen? I guess it depends how you approach them.
I'm going to a guy's house, but I'm coming from a guy's house, and I got his nectar on my pant.
Why is it so difficult for you to ask us, any of us, on a date?
I had a guy come over after lunchtime, but now that I got my car back, I think I'm gonna go to a guy's house with my regulars. One of the boys on the roster.
Guys just don't approach anymore.
One of my boyfriends is unfortunately not on the roster anymore.
Instead of lowering your standard for one man, you can have 4 mediocre men who can collect.
You get done with the day, you wait for them to text you back because you're a girl and you want them to text you back first.
Sadly, this is just the pool of women we have in the West. Women dealing with multiple men, women who are entitled and women who just expect things without offering much in return have become all too common. It's a culture that prioritizes instant gratification and superficial interactions. Many women in the West seem more focused on their options than on building something real. They juggle multiple men, keeping them in a roster to see who offers the most, whether it's attention, money, or status. This behavior isn't just unfair to the men involved, it's also unsustainable. Eventually, the game catches up, leaving both parties feeling empty and dissatisfied.
I've been hearing a lot of ladies say that men don't even approach them anymore, and they're starting to think that something's wrong with them. A lot of the reasons why a lot of men or women are starting to not get approached is because we're starting to exude a type of level of energy that means that we don't have the time for any BS.
I feel like things are just backwards over here in Australia, you guys. So when I first moved here, not a single guy came up to me at the clubs and hit on me. And I found it a bit weird. I was like kind of offended, not gonna lie. Coming from North America, I don't know, I was kind of offended. In North America, it's like the guys come up to the girls, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know any girls that would go up to a guy, so it just seems a bit backwards. Like, can someone please explain this to me? Also, why is every single guy short? Like, I'm a pretty short girl, and I tower over all these men at the club.
Guys not making a move anymore is so frustrating because the amount of times that I've heard so-and-so has liked you before, like at this time. I didn't know if you felt the same way, so he never said anything to you. I've been getting that a lot recently, and I can't stop thinking, what if, bro? So guys, can you make a move again? Can we stop being afraid and just make a gesture? I'm never gonna make a move.
No! Because we run the risk of making the woman uncomfortable, and that's something we don't want to do. I'd rather be alone than called a creep for even trying. Too many videos on the internet talking about girls getting annoyed when guys ask them out. Too many risks with even approaching a woman nowadays. So we just stayed to ourselves. I find it to be more peaceful that way. I've seen videos on TikTok of women bashing the men who approach them, and the reasons were often because those men weren't considered attractive enough. Of course, when men see videos like this, they're going to be reluctant to make a move and approach women because they'll just end up being mocked or bashed for it. This behavior also highlights a double standard. While women often express frustration about men not approaching them anymore, videos like these contribute to why men are stepping back. If men are ridiculed for simply trying to make a connection, it's no wonder they're more cautious or even choosing not to engage at all. And if women want that male attention so badly now, they're going to have to start approaching.
Effects of being told that men do not approach you because you're intimidating.
Don't you just love men who ask to take you out on a date and then ask you to split the bill? Especially when they ask you out on a date and they order more drinks, order more food. If you ask to take me out on a date, you better take me out.
Why do men not understand hints? Why do I have to spell every fucking thing out? Why can't you just one simple little hinting at this? Fucking understand what I'm trying to say. I don't want to have to spell everything out like I'm your mother.
You need help.
Even in the UK, I find men don't approach. I've got a friend in Canada who says the exact same thing. Like, they're not really trying to approach. And I don't know if that's because they're shy or they think they're going to get shut down, or if they just have so much choice with women they don't have to anymore. Because I also know a lot of male friends who say they don't have to approach women. Like,
so you're saying that nowadays men just don't approach women?
Men don't approach women, but they didn't stop because they wanted to. The truth is, so many women are feeling the effects of the wish they wanted granted, and it seems like a lot of them are regretting asking for that wish. For years, women pushed the narrative that they were tired of being approached, tired of unwanted attention, and tired of men trying to strike up conversations. This led to a cultural shift where many men, wanting to respect boundaries and avoid being labeled as desperate or thirsty, chose to back off entirely. What it is that these modern women are missing the compliments, the nice gesture, and most definitely the attention. They simply can't live without it.
How would you want a man to approach you in public if you're single? I know a lot of women do want this. Like, a lot of women want an IRL connection or like a meet cute that's not on a dating app. I also understand it can feel very confronting and scary and sometimes disrespectful when a man comes up to you in public. So for the women who do want that, who want to get off of the app, who do want men to approach them, a lot of men are obviously scared about like crossing boundaries and being creepy. So I'm just curious if anyone has any suggestions.
It does not work nowadays. A woman needs to show interest first by giving a clear sign before I waste my time. Unless you're tall and attractive, approaching almost never works. All the men can admit and acknowledge that this only works if you are attractive. If not, you will be seen as a creep. Nope, women ruined it for the actual good guys. So have fun with your weirdo men.
I don't know what's going on, and somebody please tell me if you know, but like, men no longer approach women, right? Like, you'll be somewhere and you'll catch a homie like staring at you, right, from across the room. Leave that vicinity and never say anything to you. And then somehow, some way, find a way to pop up on you, whether he knows you or not, and hint at maybe having some kind of interest in you. And then it's like, what am I supposed to do with that? Like, what is this?
I swear I see so much about channeling your inner feminine energy to like attract the right person and like be your best self. Although I do agree with a lot of that, I swear I had the most success and luck in like dating and even with my current boyfriend when I was the one to pursue them, which is not seen as a feminine action. When you pursue them, it just shows you're confident, you're strong, you're independent. Anytime I'm talking to someone about like dating, I always say, what are you going to lose if you go up to them or ask them to hang out? And reason, don't come on too strong, but I don't think it ever hurts to make the first move.
I agree.
I asked a bunch of girls, when was the last time a man approached you at a bar and started talking to you?
Is that still the main reason to go to a bar, is it? I really hope that that's not where a lot of individuals are trying to find someone to be in a relationship with.
And I thought this was just me thing, but they were all like, no, it hasn't happened in, I can't even tell you how long, like before.
I honestly don't even understand how it comes as a surprise that a lot of men aren't even bothering to approach women anymore.
And I thought that was a me experience. I was like, okay, maybe I give off like a standoffish vibe. I don't know. I don't think so, but
No, they all agreed. They're like, I can't tell you the last time a man tried to talk to me at a bar. A man tried to offer to buy me a drink.
And why would they? And why should they? Honestly, a lot of men are finding it a lot more peaceful just to remain single.
Men still do that. Men, can you weigh in? I don't even need the drink, but like the last time, and I'll go up and talk to guys, but like, can someone explain?
Oh, I would be more than pleased to explain. Just take a look at what is being put out on social media by a large amount of women, especially in regards to how they feel about men in general, what is expected of a man in a relationship, what is considered to be the bare minimum, of which no woman seems to be able to agree with another on what that is. So in fact, a lot of men are just bowing out, not even getting involved anymore, because it's a lot simpler for them just to be single and happy.
What this woman and many other women are experiencing is the lack of male attention because most men have prioritized peace over the stress of trying to approach a woman who may mock or reject them harshly. Men are choosing to value their mental and emotional well-being, steering clear of situations where they're likely to be ridiculed or met with hostility. Nowadays, a man don't know whether it's safe or not to approach a woman, especially after many women have told men to stop. The irony is, while some women claim they don't need men or attention, their actions tell a different story. Many of them are now vocal about their dissatisfaction with the lack of male interest, yet they fail to see how their attitudes and behaviors contribute to the problem. The modern dating scene has shifted dramatically, with many men opting out of the pursuit altogether. Why? Because the risks now outweigh the rewards. Being ignored is one thing, but being publicly humiliated or shamed is another.
Why are men not approaching women in the church? Girl, we about to find out. We about to find out. Like, we about to find out. Today. Like, the Inside Out Singles is about to tell us, the men's edition, they're about to give us the tease as to why men don't approach women in the church. And I'm ready. You ready? Because I'm ready. I'm ready to see what they got to say. I'm ready to see what they got.
It has come to my attention that men do not want to approach women anymore. I don't know when this happened, but this is the reality of the situation. And I also realized that nobody wants to be on dating apps anymore. We are finally going to get off the apps and we are finally going to flirt with one another. However, we have an issue at hand. Men don't want to approach women at bars. So it's like, how do we start conversation? I started taking myself out to bars. I'm going out with girlfriends and I'm trying to make conversation with guys at bars. And I have one question that I have been asking that is working.
Y'all want to know why a lot of women nowadays are not afraid to be single? After we've evolved over time, a lot of women are now business owners, hard workers, super independent, mothers. Women aren't as afraid of being alone and having to rely on a man to provide for her. Well, what do you have to provide for me? If I can do everything for myself, what do I really need you for? So now women are making these men really and prove themselves first before they just get that ring on the finger.
I bet she felt so empowered saying all that, and yet nobody is jumping to marry her. A lot of these so-called boss babes will continue to be single because their attitudes are simply a turn-off. And women are still relying on men to provide for them. One thing for sure is women do not like spending their own money. They like to leech off the guy instead. And if women weren't afraid to be single, they wouldn't be out here asking for men.
Men don't want to date you. They literally want to be you.
No, they don't.
Sound to say something. If you're wondering why men are scared to approach women these days, then watch this. If the men compliment, I love your smile, Billing. Hi, how are you, Billing? Why haven't you eaten, Billing? Let's go on a date, Billing. How your mama, Billing? Even if you send them a question mark, they go still want bill you on top. Right now, all they want to do is deduct, decrease, depreciate, and wreck you because they feel that you should be a truck made and filled with money before approaching them. So, if you don't have it, don't approach. Before they carry your matter, they discuss for their group. Marriage, never sits.
We are not scared to approach women. We are just looking for women that would genuinely care for us and give us peace. Imagine a girl telling me she can't have someone like me and be broke. We're not scared. The truth is, we don't waste time going after liabilities. We go for assets. To sum it up, basically, when a man approaches a woman today, she automatically expects that man to fund her lifestyle. She expects him to pay for her fake nails, fake hair, fake lashes, and a long list of other expenses that have nothing to do with him. This entitlement is out of control, and it's no wonder men are opting out of approaching altogether. The fact that women believe men are scared to approach them is just ridiculous. Instead of taking a hard look at themselves and asking why men don't approach anymore, they'd rather resort to calling men names like broke, weak, or intimidated. The truth is, a man doesn't need a liability. He doesn't need someone who is more concerned about what she can take from him than what she can bring to the table. This attitude creates a massive disconnect. Women who expect men to take on their responsibilities without offering anything in return fail to realize that men are no longer willing to play that game.
So am I the only one who absolutely hates being single? Because I've been single for a year now, and it sucks. Just kind of enjoy your time. Go out, have fun, enjoy your alone time, blah, blah, blah. There were people who were meant to be alone, and there were people who weren't meant to be alone. I am the second type. This shit sucks. I just want to have someone to come home to hang out with, to talk to watch movies with. Like, I have my kids and they're amazing, but I want like another adult to talk to. And like, obviously I'm not going to settle for just anybody. Like, I am very picky because I have kids. I'm not for the streets. I'm wife material. I'm not. This isn't fun. I don't like it. I mean, maybe it's my age. I am 28, so maybe that's why I'm so like. And since I was married for 10 years, like I was already in that mindset of just being settled down and just being a wife. Like I'm not a girlfriend. What the heck? I don't want to be a girlfriend. But listen to your parents. Don't get married young.
Is anybody else feeling so frustrated with the fact that they're single? Like, I understand that it's God's timing, and when I tell you I trust in that man with my whole life, I mean it. But it doesn't change the fact that I'm still frustrated about it. And that's okay, because I'm being raw with my feeling. God wants us to bring our feelings to him and be vulnerable with them. And if I'm being vulnerable, I'm so frustrated. And I know I can't be the only one. So if you're feeling the same way, let's talk about it. What are you struggling with? Because I know I can't be the only one that's feeling this way. And it's so frustrating when people tell you it'll happen when you least expect it, or are your standards too high, or like all the other things that people tell you. Because I have faith in people. I know that there's wonderful people out there. I'm not saying that the dating scene is trash or anything, because I know that there's wonderful people. I think social media has clouded a lot of things and made it more difficult for people to find authentic relationships. But I think that there's wonderful, wonderful people out there. I'm just saying that I know I can't be the only one that's feeling so frustrated in this season of my life. And I know that God will provide, but it doesn't change the fact that I'm so frustrated. So if you're feeling this, or if you resonate with this, let's all talk about it, because I don't think it's talked about enough.
I've been single for years now. The loneliness during the holidays is hard this year. I'm truly at the point where I think meeting someone just isn't in the cards for me. I'm so frustrated because it makes me feel like, why am I not worthy of the happiness everyone I know has with their partner? I've never been in a relationship. I'm so tired of being single. I just want someone to love me.
You know, when people say I don't chase, I attract, you know what I expect? I expect my future husband to come up into my window and be like, hey, I've been looking for you all my life, and I want you to be my wife. Because unfortunately, men do not approach girls in public anymore. They do not come up and talk to you. They do not write you love letters. My mom was telling me the other day that when she was in college and she had boys pining after her, they wrote her love letters. Can we bring back love letters, for God's sakes? So I fear that in my generation, the only way I will meet my husband is that he will come up into my window and propose to me.
First of all, if a man did that, he would get a restraining order, or most likely end up in jail. But seriously, if women could swallow their pride and approach the man they want, finding a man wouldn't be so hard for them. In today's modern age, the dating dynamics have shifted, and the old "men must always pursue" mindset isn't as practical as it used to be. Men are increasingly hesitant to approach women because of the potential backlash. Society has created an environment where a man making a move, even with good intentions, risks serious social issues or potentially get into legal consequences.
Some men genuinely will not approach you if they know they can't afford you.
How much?
Facts. And that kind of makes me feel better. I'm like, all right, well, it's not me. It's you. It is you.
Literally. You need help.
Social media has ruined relationships not just because of cheating, but because the average male cannot compete with the amount of attention that women are receiving online. There's posts like this. And these posts have over 1 million likes and thousands of comments where women are getting their self-worth and their value from random strangers on the internet. And you think that the average male is going to be able to compete with any of that. They're not. You will never be able to compete with the amount of attention that she's getting from social media. And that's why a lot of women refuse to give up their social media or stop posting thirst traps the minute that they're in a relationship. Why? Because they know that you as a man cannot fill that void. But also it's made the average woman look like a 7 or an 8 when they're a 2 or a 3 or a 4. I have never seen a single person that I've seen online walking around in real life. Why? Because they don't look like that. So that's the other thing. Their ego goes way up here when really they need to be humbled. Okay, bye.
Okay, so me and my friend, a platonic homeboy, we went somewhere last night and we had to get out the car like 3 times. Okay. And he didn't open my door not a single time. So I let it go by a couple times. And then I said, now that's your 3rd time not opening my door. And he was like, well, I feel like that's romantic. And I said, wait, this is a common courtesy. Okay. I know we just boys. Okay. I know we just boys, but I am still. Okay. Treat me like a lady. Disregard the mustache and the whiskers down here. Okay. I am very much still a feminine woman. Open my door. Open my door. Am I tripping? Bro, open my door, bro. What y'all think?
You need help. Not really sure what would possess this woman to think that her male friend owes her any chivalrous act, especially when they're not dating and referring to each other as bro. Friendship isn't a license to demand special treatment or to expect someone to go out of their way for you just because they're a man. But this is how it starts. Small expectations here and there that gradually grow into full-blown entitlement. Many women do this, subtly pushing the boundaries until they're outright taking advantage of the guy. It often begins with seemingly innocent requests, asking for a favor, expecting him to always pay for outings, or relying on him to handle inconveniences. Over time, these favors start feeling more like obligations, and the man finds himself in a one-sided dynamic where he's constantly giving and receiving little to nothing in return. Worse yet, his kindness is rarely appreciated. It's taken for granted, as if it's simply his duty to serve her needs.
Men are no longer approaching women on the road. I feel like they've lacking confidence in that area now.
And I think the internet did that though, because I think the internet makes them scared.
Because back in the day,
the internet made them scared.
I think it's the internet.
Yeah.
They don't want to be put online. Say, oh, this creepy man stopped me.
Give you an example. You go to a gym, that's male dominated. Yeah. How many men come and talk to you there?
None.
There you go. And you know why that is? Because a lot of them will go on TikTok, they'll see these videos.
Yeah, Joey Small.
Yeah, they'll see the videos of women saying, alright, don't talk to men. And then instantly, it just makes all of them go tunnel vision.
Well, it's only logical, because if men are seeing multiple women on TikTok telling them not to approach, it's only natural they would stop. Social media has amplified these voices, with countless videos labeling men's approaches as creepy or unwanted, even when those approaches are respectful and genuine. Men are taking notes, and the message is clear: don't bother. For many men, the risk of rejection has always been a part of dating, but now it comes with the added threat of public shaming or being misunderstood. When these clips go viral, they reinforce a narrative that all approaches are unwelcome, discouraging men from even trying. It's not just about avoiding embarrassment anymore, it's about self-preservation. Why would a man put himself in a situation where he might be ridiculed, accused, or even vilified for simply expressing interest? It doesn't make sense.
Yo, I don't see the point of approaching women or bagging women. There's no point unless you know. The only way you get her is if you already know she's into you.
So what if you're out somewhere and you find an attractive woman? You're not going to go up to her?
There's no point.
Why?
Because they choose. There's absolutely no point of, what do you mean how?
But how do you know you're not chosen if you don't go up to her?
You don't have to go up to her. When a woman wants what she wants, she shows you that she wants it.
Not all women do that.
All y'all looking at the camera, lie and say y'all don't. These women listen, there's dudes that don't gotta do nothing but breathe. Hey, I think you're so handsome. I think you're this. Women will come up to them. I used to be one of those guys. And then
Which one? Which one were you? Come on now, which one were you? The one that women used to come up to you?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yo,
Dating and is so fucked up in this generation right now that we literally get excited over the bare fucking minimum. Oh, he texts me back fast. Okay. Oh, he took me on a date and he paid for it. Okay. He didn't try to sleep with me the first night. Okay. This is bare fucking minimum. Like bare minimum. It's sad because we're used to such shitty treatment and such like low quality shitty men that when a man acts correctly, we're like, oh my God, holy shit. Like he's amazing. No, this is what they should be doing. When a man actually likes you and wants to be with you, like he does this shit anyways. Stop settling. Don't be stupid.
It's these types of women that push men away by failing to appreciate the effort, no matter how small or significant, that men put into relationships or interactions. At this point, I'm convinced they don't even know what the bare minimum is, because they dismiss nearly everything a man does as just that, bare minimum. Whether it's paying for dinner, holding the door open, or simply showing genuine interest, these gestures are often met with entitlement or indifference rather than gratitude. Men are expected to go above and beyond constantly, yet their efforts are either undervalued or taken for granted. The irony is that these same women often do the bare minimum themselves, expecting praise simply for showing up or looking good. If women can't acknowledge and value even the small things a man does, how can they expect men to keep giving?
We need to have a discussion on my single people because I need to know what you guys would have done in this circumstance. They always say like you'll meet the person that you want to start dating or the person that you're with doing things that you love, whether it's going to the coffee shop, the gym, just your everyday activities, whatever. So today I go into the coffee shop and the second I walk in, I see the most beautiful man, just like gorgeous features, brown hair, incredibly tall. I'm like, you are so my type to a T. Very business-esque energy to him too. And I'm like, yeah, that's definitely my type. He was sitting across the cafe. I'm like, I should make some eye contact with him, let him know there's a vibe here. But didn't end up like looking at for my computer, whatever. So I'm like, I'll just have no earbuds in so I look approachable because I've been told I don't look approachable. So I'm trying to do everything I can to make myself look approachable to this man. He ends up walking over and sitting right next to me. And how it's set up in this coffee shop is there's like one long booth and then a table in front of yourself and then a chair on the other side of you. So he's sitting right next to me in this booth. And I'm like, perfect opportunity. So I'm patiently waiting for him to like spark up a conversation, but like what would he have said? And I was too nervous to be bold and be like, hey, you're really hot. My name's Lauren. Here's my number. But like, I could have done that, but like, that's a little too ballsy of me. And like, I wanted him to just show a little confidence, maybe like pursue a little bit, because I think that's the most attractive thing in a guy. But I'm like, the fact that he got up and sat right next to me, he didn't even have to like charge his computer or anything because he didn't reach out to grab a charger because I'm like, oh wait, why did he move across and sit next to me? So that made me a little curious. So anyways, bummer. To make a long story short, we didn't end up having any conversation, and he got up probably like, I don't know, 30 minutes later or something. But yeah, he totally distracted me from my work because I was like, I just want to kiss you on the lips. You are gorgeous, honey. But yeah, if you were sitting at Shortwave Coffee today next to me, you should have shot your shot because you were beautiful. But anyways, I want to know what you guys would have done in that circle.
This is what happens when a woman's ego gets in the way. They miss their blessings. If this woman really wanted the man, she would have made a move, but she couldn't bring herself to do so because her pride demanded that he make the first move. What makes it even worse is that she admitted the man was her type. She clearly saw something in him that she liked, but her unwillingness to step outside of her comfort zone or let go of traditional dating norms stopped her from acting on it. Women who think, if he wants me, he'll come to me, are often the same ones who complain about being single or not finding the kind of men they desire. The truth is, sometimes you have to put yourself out there. If she truly valued that man or saw him as someone special, why wait? Why let an outdated belief that men must chase stop her from pursuing something that could lead to happiness? Unfortunately, many women would rather let their pride win than risk stepping out of their comfort zone. But pride doesn't keep you warm at night, and it certainly doesn't lead to meaningful relationships.
Who has noticed men are no longer persuasive? Once they ask you out and you say no, wham, case closed.
I witnessed this girl earlier this week approach a man with the most confidence I have ever seen. She went up to him and she said, "Hey, I need to know your name, and I think that you think you need to know my name too." They hit it off, they exchanged numbers. It worked beautifully, and I was honestly like, that's confidence goals right there. And I'm just gonna like put that little pickup line in my back pocket for later.
I always say a woman's success rate with approaching a man, as long as he's single, 99%. She is going to get his name and number. But a man's experience is very different. He unfortunately will be rejected most of the time. And on top of that, unfortunately, rejection nowadays can be somewhat brutal, especially if she ends up labeling him a creep. So think about it. If a woman is the deciding factor on a successful approach, why don't women do it more? And look, even if it doesn't result in them being together and dating, that man is going to remember her forever. And it is going to be a story that that man is telling for the rest of his life. Trust me.
It's going to be a moment he remembers forever, because men don't normally get approached by women. It's usually the other way around. Men are not used to being pursued or given that attention. So when a woman makes the first move, it stands out in a big way. The excitement and appreciation a man feels when a woman approaches him are often overlooked, but it's something that could leave a lasting impression. In a world where men are usually the ones doing the chasing, it's rare, and it hits differently when the roles are reversed. Men are the simplest creatures in the world. They don't need complicated signals or mixed messages. If a woman shows genuine interest, it's enough. Men don't require a lot of game-playing or high-maintenance behavior. They're usually more about directness and simplicity.
Why does no one want to talk about the fact that women bait and lure men in by sex in the beginning of the relationship, only to then turn around and blame him later on for the lack of emotional security, which is why she can't have sex with him anymore, and that's the reason for the lack of intimacy in the relationship? Excuse me, but when you met him in the beginning of a relationship and you only knew him for a month, maybe 3 months, he wasn't emotionally safe, but you gave it up to him then. But not only that, is you literally were giving it up to him to impress him, to lure him in, and you weren't rejecting him. So now that he feels rejected later on in the relationship, you want to make him feel bad for it. Make that make sense. And y'all don't think that this is manipulative or deceiving or hurtful or is going to lead to any psychological problems within the men that you're dating. Make it make sense. But then y'all don't just turn these men down gracefully. You want to make them feel like shit. You want to belittle them. You want to make them feel less than. And you actually make them feel so less desirable, not because of sex, but even your body language, the passive aggressive tones, and the way that you go about turning him down. What's crazy is y'all set the standard for how you want the intimacy to go in a relationship, but then when he wants that to be the expectation, now you're mad. Let's not forget that if this man decides that he doesn't want intimacy on the one day that you decide to initiate because maybe he's overworked, he's also burnt out, maybe he's also depressed or has anxiety, you're going to accuse him of cheating. Oh, and get this, when you finally decide to break it off with him because y'all are having conflict about intimacy, y'all will go and fuck the next dude within 2 weeks, and y'all don't think that that has anything to do with emotional security. So you just over a good man for some Joe Schmo on the side. Okay, bye.
Just to be clear, this is what's called a bait and switch, a tactic where a woman uses intimacy to draw a man in during the early stages of a relationship, only to switch up once the commitment is made. In the beginning, the connection feels genuine and passionate, but once the man is emotionally invested or the couple is married, the woman may start to withhold that same intimacy or become emotionally distant. In marriages, men experience this all the time. They enter the relationship with the expectation that the intimacy they shared at the start will remain consistent or deepen over time. But once the commitment is solidified, whether through marriage, moving in together, or having children, the dynamics often change. The woman may stop prioritizing physical affection, become less emotionally available, or start focusing more on her own needs and desires, leaving the man feeling neglected and disconnected.
This man just left my house and called me crazy. I was on Hinge. I need to move house, and I'm on Hinge trying to find someone to help me move, but I thought maybe I could get away with not telling them that I need help moving and just like asking them, actually not asking them, just like assuming they would and telling them what to do. So this guy takes me on a Yochi date at like 8 p.m. We organized the date like an hour before, like just started talking to him. He's like, let's go Yochi. I was like, sick. We go Yochi. I'm like, come back to my place. He comes back. I have all my bags packed. I'm like, okay, so we're going to take these bags to the car and we're going to go to my new place and drop them off and then come back. And he's like, what? Like, what are you talking about? He's like giggling and I'm like, yeah, like, come on, just like lift a few. Phoebe starts giggling and crying and then
real tears.
I'm like chuckling and he's like, you guys are on drugs or something. Like, what is wrong with you? He accused me of doing edibles and then he accused me of being on crack because I just kept laughing at the situation because I got him to like carry the bags down to the car. And then he's like, I gotta go. Like, you've literally used me to help you move. I'm not one of those Australian guys that's gonna do everything you tell me to do. And I'm like, if you can't love me at my moving house, you don't deserve me at my moved in.
This woman is a red flag, a liar, and a trickster. She's the type of person who preys on a man's kindness, exploiting his good nature for her own benefit. This woman met this man on Hinge, had him thinking he had a chance with her, only to turn around and use him to help her move her furniture to her new house. It's manipulative and selfish behavior, plain and simple. But honestly, I don't know why that man helped her. I mean, she's a complete stranger. Most likely that man is a good dude with a good heart, and that's why he got used. But anyway, she clearly knew that this man was interested in her, and instead of being upfront or respectful of his feelings, she saw an opportunity to use him. Disgusting.